Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Jordan here. Today I'm on landscaping duty. So we've got this medieval area which has been worked on quite a bit recently. Like I added this big castle wall outside of the king's castle. It's looking pretty sweet, but the landscaping all around this area, it needs some work because there's still a lot of exposed studs and I want to up my game in regards to vegetation. So I actually have these pieces right here. It's the brown antennas and also these little stem elements. I found them on the pad wall. So my plan today is to build 121 trees. Yeah, 121 trees using these parts. So you can build like these little sapling trees. There's like little tiny spruce trees, and they're actually pretty much the exact same design from a Star Wars set. I believe it was like an Endor micro scale set, but they're not really micro scale trees because when you put a minifigure up to them or up next to them, it's like, oh my gosh, these trees are pretty much the same size as a minifig. So I would consider them to be a fairly good scale. So I want to build a whack of them and I want to place them in that medieval area. Now it's funny, when I originally started this video, I thought I was just going to build 120 trees or 100 trees, but then it turns out, oh, you can do them 11 by 11 on the base plate, so you can build 121 of them. And I originally thought that I was only going to build and place these trees in the medieval area. But then I started placing them and started doing some landscaping over there, and it was just like the domino effect. I was like, yep, today I am going to do a bunch of landscaping in the medieval area. I'm not just going to build these tiny little trees and place them over there, because there's just a lot of stuff that still needs to happen over there, that's for sure. So once I get all these trees built, I'm almost all out of the stems. It was definitely pretty cool seeing those piles just sort of dissipate as I built 121 of these little trees. Pretty sweet. I'll have to try and get some more of these stem elements because I still have a lot of antennas left. I actually have more than what's shown there in the picture. They look pretty cool. I got them all at different heights. Some of 5, some of 6, some of 8, some of 10. So there's a little bit of different size variation between the different trees. They look pretty cool when they're on the 32 by 32 base plate, that's for sure. Now it's time to place all of these in the medieval area. So this is what I mean by I originally anticipated on only building these trees and placing them because I just have a sort of a tight schedule today. But I went through and I started placing all of these trees, and it's like, why am I doing this? As I place more and more and more trees all over the regular green plates, it's like, oh my gosh, I should probably be doing some texturing. So what I decided to do is actually connect the trail, and the trail is actually going to Magisto's magical workshop. So it uses the same trail that connects to from the castles to the bridge to the other castle to Magisto's tower to my wizarding tower. So once I get that connected, it looks a little bit better. It's not just like floating there in the green area. The only structures that are going to be floating in this area are the hero tents, or like little soldier tents. I have no problem with those floating because it's like, oh, they set up these tents in the middle of the bush. They don't really need trails leading up to them. So yeah, I'm placing all of these trees, but it's like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? When I go to texture this area with more leaves, more vegetation, and those slopes, well, guess what? I'm gonna have to remove all these trees anyway. So I start a different project. I start tiling off all of these 8x8 plates, well, 3 of them. And these 8x8 plates are actually gonna go on that ramp right back there where we have the king, who's currently on his way out of the castle to meet up with the Black Falcon Knights. So I'm actually tiling these off fully with 1x1 circular light gray tiles and also 1x1 quarter round dark gray tiles. I found both of these pieces on the pad wall. I love the pad wall. Just comes in so handy because taking all these 8x8 plates and making all 64 studs look like that and then popping them on the ramp definitely elevates the ramp. It just makes it look so much better. Like, that is far superior. That's for sure. Definitely glad that I was able to finally do that. It's time to stop procrastinating about all this landscape detail. So next I'm actually going to do right back here behind these hero tents. So I'm putting down some 2x4 bricks and also some 1x2 green slopes. Once again, courtesy of the pad wall. It's pretty cool what you can do with parts from the pad wall. And I'm also putting some of those pieces in front of the hero tents as well. And then once I get my brick and slopes down, it's time to start laying some of the leaves once again, courtesy of the pad wall. Pretty cool. So I've pretty much built this entire landscape from the pad wall, which is just insane to think. So then I kept going here and I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to do one little section, I may as well take care of it all. So I changed the camera angle to like a bird's eye view of this entire area, and I'm going to go around and do the exact same thing, placing the brick, placing the slopes, placing the leaf elements, and then putting the trees back, putting the saplings back, and just really making this area look a lot better than it already does. And that's the goal here today, that's for sure. So I pretty much just repeat that same process right beside the ramp there, around all of the different hero tents, just all over this area, because it was already done in front of the Black Vulcan Knights castle and by that little pub that I built over there. So I figured I may as well just finish it off. Now I didn't want to do this originally because I wasn't sure if I was going to build any more structures and put them throughout this area. But I'm pretty happy with the amount of structures here. We've got the tower now, we've got 2 massive castles, we got the tent, and then we've got Magisto's Magical Workshop, Magisto's Tower. So I'm pretty happy with like the amount of structures in this area, and I think it sort of works. I don't really know what else we could add besides like more minifigures and also more fauna. And I was thinking maybe we could add like more flora too, like different flowers and stuff to add little pops of color everywhere. Like maybe I could add some yellow and pink flowers and whatnot everywhere. But I do like the combination of the different shades of green and also the reddish brown mixed into the vegetation. I think that sort of does the trick and looks pretty good. But there we go, just sort of going around doing all of this different texturing, and I'm even doing it in places that are hard to see. So for example, I'm doing it behind the hero tents and behind Magisto's Magical Workshop there, even though you can't really see that when you're looking at it. It's like, you know what, I want all of these areas to be treated the same. Why should they all have the same level of detail? And then in addition to the minifigures that I added, I also added some alligators as well, because why not? You gotta have some alligators by the water there. There's actually 2 more little sneaky spots that need some detail as well. So right here beside the pub and on the side of the castle. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing over here with all the leaves elements and the slopes and just sort of texture this grass. It just makes sense. Why wouldn't I do that? I don't know why I didn't do it to begin with. It's time to get her done, essentially. So on the side of the castle and also right over here behind the castle where we have that beautiful tree with all the different shades of green. Yeah, those trees are pretty cool. They're like the Technic built ones. Yeah, there's just so many different varieties of vegetation in this area. It's looking pretty sweet. Pretty happy with it, that's for sure. So yeah, we've got the King's Castle there, a nice ramp, fully smooth tiled. I probably should add some studs so I can put some figures in action poses as they walk up and down that ramp. Some more minifigures scattered throughout this area as well, specifically Magisto going over the bridge there. And then we've got these guys on horseback making their way to one of the castles, I guess. And then we've got the wizard up there and also a jester. Nice trees and vegetation and trails, and it's just like so vibrant now. Like this area is just popping. This is as close to finish as it's ever been, really, but there is some details that I still need to add to the Black Vulcan Knights castle. I haven't finished the interior details of that, and I also haven't finished the interior details of the King's Castle as well. So that entire King's Castle over there, it has to be just fixed up because it's looking pretty plain Jane. But I definitely like the minifig placement over here by the hero tent and also the alligators by that dead tree there. I think that's some good stories and stuff. He's just chilling out by his tent. What else would you add to this area? You let me know by commenting below. I think the creek with the bricks on their side look pretty amazing as well. And then we got the towers. And then once again, I've got to finish the grounds work over here in front of the Lion Knight's castle. And I've also got to do some of the interior detail work for that castle as well, just because it's sort of in its original state, which isn't really that detailed. So here we go. Let's have a look at the before. Looking pretty studdish, if you ask me. And here is after. Oh yeah, those 121 trees definitely made it look a lot better. Once again, here it is before. And after. Yeah. Vegetation takes it a long way, that's for sure. So I'm still having lots of fun with this medieval scene. It's not quite done yet. It's getting there though, that's for sure. Once again, just got to add some more details to those castles, both inside and outside. I should probably make some changes to these builds as well, but bigger layout coming soon. Everybody, thank you so much for coming on by. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Farewell.